Hello, Millie. Hello. I'm sorry y'all get no intro again tonight because my computer is acting slow. I don't know what's going on, but it's fine. It's fine. Hey, H. Davis, good evening and Merry Christmas. Very Merry Christmas to you. I hope your day has been wonderful. Same to you, Millie, and everybody. Let's see here. Hold on just a minute. I hadn't even got my banner. Why does it say? Oh, I got a new button up here, y'all. I don't want to push no new buttons. Hey, Susan. Hello, Merry Christmas. I hope your day was wonderful. Yeah, I have a new button up here I was looking at, and I don't want to push no new buttons, that's for sure. So I hope everybody had she said, don't. Merry Christmas, second to number one. Hello. Good to see you. I hope everyone had a great day and got to spend it with family and got filled up and remembered what it was about and made your traditions and your memories. And, those memories are all we really have in the end. My day was okay. It was bittersweet, bittersweet. My day, H. Davis said, my day was good, but on the 28th it won't. Why is the 28th? What's wrong on the 28th? I'm praying for you, whatever it is. Everybody coming in, welcome. Hey, Daniel. Merry Christmas. Glad to see you here. Merry Christmas to you. Hello, Anne. Hello. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing good and had a great day. Believe it or not, I'm home now. And believe it or not, it was actually, I didn't even look at the temperature, but it was so hot today. Oh my word, it was hot. I was like, whoa. Oh, yeah, H. Davis, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. So sorry. Yeah, around these holidays and stuff can be tough. But we have the new year coming forward, and hopefully the new year will be good for everybody. I hope and pray. I'm ready for it to get out and get in with the new. It's been hot in Bama too, really. You had to turn your air on. Yeah. Hey, Cripple Creek. Hello. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We say Merry Christmas over here. I'm glad to see everybody. I think I didn't check. I think others are probably doing some stuff tonight, and everybody's usually late. But I was so tired. I said, if I have to wait any longer, I'm getting old, y'all. I said, if I have to wait any longer, I'm going to be falling asleep again. So, no, we ain't going to work it that way tonight. I'm just coming on. But somebody had brought up this in my chat yesterday, I think it was yesterday, about 4 years ago, the Nashville bombing. Man, oh man, I thought, wow, it happened on Christmas Day. So I thought, let's talk about it. Okay. And here we are 4 years later and still no real answers. We have no real, we know who did it and all that, but it's just such a huge mystery, don't you think? Christmas Day, December 25th, 2020, Nashville woke up all right, but it wasn't to a merry and bright Christmas. Nope. When they turned their TVs on and their radios on, they had no control, really. They went straight to the bomb.com, actually, sadly. How many, Well, I don't know. Was anybody around down in there at that time or up in there? I'm down here now. Up in there. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. I wasn't on YouTube, of course, at that time, but it was everywhere. It was everywhere. And I don't know who covered it from YouTube and who didn't, because like I said, that was 4 years ago, but it was horrible. Like I said, the entire Nashville, the entire world was just shook, but especially Nashville. Anthony Warner was believed to have parked his RV there downtown in Nashville really, really early morning, Christmas morning, detonating a very powerful homemade bomb. And he did that around, I think it was around 6:30 p.m. at 2nd Avenue North. I know I'll never forget it. Oh, I'm sorry, Anne. I hope you get to feeling better. I'm sorry. It's no fun when you get sick at Christmas, is it? Some even wondered, I remember, if he was the only one, or if he was even the one if some wondered if he was even the one in the RV, or did he just designate it to go off at a certain time. They wasn't even sure if he was in there or not, I guess is what I'm saying. But he was. He was. Lord, I remember that day. I forget. I don't know if it was over at Warner Park, or I can't remember where it was at. They was a little bit scared some different things would happen. Because they wasn't sure if he was a loner or not. But before it did explode, he had this creepy, y'all remember that? This creepy audio counting down to before it went off. And he played this song by Petulia Clark called Downtown. Y'all remember that? Merry Christmas, Not Crazy, and Just Belle, and Annabella, and everybody. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. So all of that, the song and everything was coming. If y'all haven't heard that song, you really should pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up, but you should pull it up and listen to it. It's Petulia Clark, and it's just called Downtown. It was really weird and creepy. If it was a beautiful song at one time, he made it real crazy. She ran calling wildfire. Hello, hello, hello. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So he had this countdown also going off in there in the RV. And that was heard coming from the RV that was counting down. And there was only enough time for Ellie to evacuate the buildings around there and all the things. But even at that, 3 people, actually, I think it was 8 people, if I'm not mistaken, still got hurt. It damaged like 41 buildings. There was 60 gone. Hey, Mike, hello. Talking about booms. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't plan that, I promise. I promise. Somebody asked me would I play this last night. But yeah, so anyway, but it damaged a lot of buildings, and about 400 people, I believe, were displaced. People were out of jobs. I mean, there was some historic and iconic buildings down there that was just blown to bits. Every time I walk past there, I get mad because the old spaghetti factory is gone. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, that was the thing, you know. Historical buildings gone, but it could have been much, much, much worse. It honestly could have been much worse. I guess he thought he was doing everybody a favor by giving everybody a warning to evacuate. Wow. I don't know about people. I really don't. There was a big, huge crater at the scene, and he used some very powerful homemade explosives. You better believe that. He worked on them for a long time, in my opinion. His remains, Warner's remains, were found. At least human remains were found near the site soon after. It wasn't too long after, but soon after. And everyone was terrified. Police warned of more devices in the vehicles. So they wanted everybody to stay away from the vehicles. They had to check all vehicles on the street. They didn't know if he had put anything in there to designate later. They didn't know what was going on, to be honest with you. There was firefighters. There was police, news crews. It looked like a war zone. The FBI said the vehicle arrived approximately 1:22 a.m. Central Standard Time. And yes, they did believe it was an intentional act. And so from everything that happened 4 years ago, looking back now, I would say they were right. Mayor John Cooper also said the bomb was deliberate. And after he came out to talk, and like I said, the buildings went down and everything, and a lot of buildings partially collapsed as well. Still to this day, 4 years later, it's not straight down there. It's not. It's still a little bit disheartening when you go down there and you see what all has been done. I think they're fixing to open up one of those roads pretty soon, but I mean, it'll never be the same, not ever. They started to look for anyone in that area around 1 a.m. or anyone that had any information. They wanted them to come forward. They were so torn up. Everybody loves Nashville. That is home to a lot of people. They offered over a $300,000 reward leading to the bomber or bombers. At the time, they did not know. Merry Christmas, Donna. Hello, everybody coming in. But they really had no idea at that time what they were dealing with. They had others like the Nashville Convention Center. They also offered a $25,000 reward. Someone else offered, I think it was the CEO of the Camping World, $250,000. And that was to anyone who gave any leading information to somebody's arrest. Well, they didn't have to worry about arresting him. He was toast. Everyone was in a horror and a panic. And they said they wouldn't, or they can't have our streets in a panic. Can you imagine? Waking up Christmas morning to that. So many people's lives changed forever that day. Then another store, they came up with and pledged $20,000 more. But they didn't have to worry about that because, like I said, I think it was on Friday afternoon. That's when law enforcement told the news they had discovered what appeared to be human remains near that explosion site, right? I mean, he went boom. He went boom. All they knew for sure, it was an intentional act. They didn't know why. They didn't have no motive or anything like that. They, of course, closed down town streets because it was a mess. The cops and the witnesses said they heard, because there was some cops walking around down there too at the time, but they said that they heard the recording playing. Now, that was creepy to me. They heard the recording playing, and it was warning and telling people to evacuate just minutes before it happened. And, of course, it was playing that song. One witness told the news he had a bomb in his vehicle. And if you can hear this message, you need to leave. That's what the message, it was on a recording. That's what it kept saying over and over. The witnesses that were hearing the warning said that started right about 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And it continued for about 30 minutes. Can y'all imagine? Hey, Charles, Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. Outdoorsy Life. Hello. Thank you for being here. But then after that recording changed to 15 minutes countdown, urging people to evacuate. It was very calculated. Yeah, can you imagine what it must have sounded like? Second to number one, you are correct. I can't even fathom. Now, the witnesses said they heard gunshots, and I think they put all that. Thank you, Charles. I think they put all that with the somehow it was in the recording, because this was before, the bomb went off. But they kept hearing the shots, they said. And which they have also, when he was playing the recording over and over, cops from the station was on their way. They thought, in fact, they were responding to shots being fired. Mayor Cooper put out a 4:30 p.m. curfew that day, and it lasted, I believe, until the 27th. There was one resident named Brian Norwood, and he said that the first time that he heard 3 shots. He then said that he heard the second time 5 shots. And then the third time he said he heard 10 to 15 shots. Was that on the recording? Where was that coming from? I don't know, but it caused a whole lot of confusion. They didn't know if somebody was in there with him. They didn't know if, it couldn't have happened that many times that he shot it himself, I wouldn't think, Well, was he shooting it in the air? I don't know, man. It was really strange. But it caused a lot of chaos and confusion that day on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2020. When the cops were there by the RV, they heard the countdown saying it would blow in 15 minutes. I tell you one thing. I would really hate to be anybody that was there working that scene. putting my life in danger. They definitely need a kudos for doing a good job that day. Christmas morning, can you imagine your family turning on the TV or radio or something and your husband or wife or whatever being a cop and being right in the middle of that, watching that, and you have little children at home, maybe they just had a Christmas with and going to work for the day or something? Oh my God. Hey, Guidance. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. But they were there. When it did go off, the one officer was knocked to the ground. He was very lucky it wasn't worse. But people from Second and Broad was evacuated down by Commerce Street. The TBI sent in canines. They were making sure everyone stayed clear of any cars. They were scared, like I said, that there was something else in the cars. Again, Mayor Cooper on Christmas Day put out a curfew in place from 4:30 p.m. until December 27th. So for 2 days. 2 days. Think about that. But he said it was to bring in resources and relief efforts. But still, I have been in curfews here. It's not easy. And then when you got chaos going on from something like that, that has to be very, very scary. So you want to talk about chaos in Nashville on Christmas Day? That was chaos. Nashville stood together. Nashville strong. They did not break. They did not break. That man did not break them. Did you know that it affected 911 systems 200 miles east of Knox County? Think about that. Flights were stopped. Flights were grounded. I mean, they had a real public safety scare, in my opinion. Where that happened at downtown, there was alarms going off for days where 24/7 where the windows blew out or whatever of the buildings and stuff like that, and car alarms. Can you imagine? Jesus. Everywhere at the same time, people crying. Again, windows blew out of buildings, homes, cars was on fire. That's the truth. It was a hot mess, to say the very least. Not what you expect to wake up to on Christmas. Not ever. Who would ever think you would wake up to something like that? Not me. We go to bed in all of our little cozy beds, and, we think we have it rough. We don't know what rough is. Like I said, so many people was without jobs. So many people are still without jobs. I knew people that literally worked down there. It's all gone away. Yeah, Ryan the Gamer, thank you for being here. Nashville International Airport was shut down. Sure was. It sure was. It should teach us to be more appreciative and thankful. Absolutely. So Anthony Warner, come to find out, he was a 60-year-old male. 60, I know, I apologize. I'm wrong about that. He was 63 years old. 63-year-old male. And days after that happened, they still didn't know what the motive could have been. They say Anthony Warner was not ever on the radar. He wasn't on the radar. Hey, Judy. Oh, thank you, Judy. And I love my Nashville born and raised, honey. You can take the girl out of Nashville or the girl out of Tennessee, but you ain't never going to take Tennessee out of the girl. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, my goodness. But they say Anthony Warner was not ever on their radar. Hey, Remy Rainbow. Oh, this was in 2020. It was on Christmas Day. And it was the Nashville bomber. We're just going over it again because somebody asked me because it was Christmas Day if we could do that. So it's nothing recent. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. They didn't even know who, FBI and them said they didn't even know who he was, Anthony Warner, until this happened. But evidently he was some kind of computer consultant, and he had told people being, I don't know, maybe his customers, if he had any. Oh, well, you may want to rewind this and catch up on speed, or just rewatch the front of it when we're over. You didn't know about this? It was wild. Sad. But days after, they still didn't know the motive. Evidently, he was a computer consultant, like I said, and he had told people he planned to retire in that month. So this was definitely a plan. I don't know if the people was co-workers, family, friends, not co-workers, I apologize, customers. So we have Anthony Quinn Warner from Antioch, Tennessee. Think about this. And he drove his RV over through town. Any of you from there know what I'm talking about. So he drove from Antioch, Tennessee, downtown with a booby-trapped RV. Make this make sense, because it sure don't. But he had plans. Yes, sounds like it was personal and deliberately. It was definitely deliberately. But he did devastate Nashville, that's for sure. Yet he made sure that no one else died, which was kind of weird. Hey, Lisa, I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Many prayers to you and your hubby. And I hope things are going well today. Yeah, here it is, Millie. Thank you. So it was kind of strange, he was kind of, he don't get no brownie points for that. I don't think. He knew what he was doing. He couldn't control how many people was there. Right, Ryan. It took place at 166 2nd Avenue North between Church Street and Commerce Street at 6:30 a.m. adjacent to AT&T Network faculty, resulting in days-long communication. Yes, that too. That too. Absolutely. that too. And again, the 911 systems, think about that. 200 miles away, it affected those. That was a horrible. Yeah, he's the one. He broadcasted over his speaker from the RV. Absolutely. But he was warning everybody to evacuate. So that didn't make a lot of sense to me, but okay. I'm thankful he did do that at least. I guess that was his sick way of trying to make amends. But unfortunately, he's going to need to explain everything to God, in my opinion. I don't think just doing that one good deed of, oh, well, let me just go down here and blow this to smithereens and make people out of a job, get 8 people hurt, and never knowing the fate of who's there and who would be killed and who would not be. I don't think giving them can you please evacuate for an hour and then down to 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes to evacuate. And then playing a freaking song probably ain't going to get him in the pearly gates. But Jesus, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. You know, people was forgiven for everything, from my understanding. But I don't know. I'm just telling you my thoughts. But he's going to need to explain a lot. So Ellie got the VIN number from the RV to help identify who he was. Then the girlfriend, I guess it was the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend, Pamela Perry, she said she was his girlfriend. She rears her head, right? So if that was me, I sure would have denied. Yuck. I sure would have denied. I wouldn't have said he was my boyfriend. But anyway, she panicked, in my opinion. Her attorney, was it Raymond Thormock? Who was it? Throckmorton. I think it was Raymond Throckmorton. Said she had made suicidal thoughts to him by telephone. So he was obligated, and he called the law to go do a welfare check. So they go to his girlfriend, or, to her house, and she had 2 unloaded pew-pews. Now, see, this is what gets me mixed up here. Okay, so she had 2 unloaded pew-pews. Obviously, she didn't want to commit, that, or she wouldn't have had them unloaded. But anyway, she had 2 unloaded pew-pews. She said they were Anthony Warner's, and she did not want them in her house anymore. So that's the part that gets me. Why are you going to call an attorney? Have your attorney call LE that connects you to this freaking dude right here. And then all you had to do, ma'am, all you had to do was, even if you called the attorney, all you had to do was say, he's got these 2 things here, and I don't want them in my house anymore. Why be so elaborate when Nashville, Tennessee has got earth-shattering news on Christmas morning, and you're running around hollering somebody needs to do a welfare check on you? That's just my opinion, y'all. I'm sorry. All she had to do was call, because she was scared she was going to get, in my opinion, connected to him. Well, that was obvious. You be connected to anybody too if you come out hollering, I'm his girlfriend, I'm his girlfriend. Come on now. But she said she did not want them in her home any longer. And she knew that he was building bombs in the RV. So there you go. There you go. See, she was trying to make sure because she knew this information. That's why she called her attorney. I'm sorry. The truth is the truth. Anyway, that came from a report from Nashville Police Department. Warner was at his girlfriend's a lot. And vice versa, my understanding. But he always talked about the military and making the bombs, making the boom booms. Chief John Drake, by the way, I love that man. Anyway, he said the bombs that was committed, the crimes that was committed was on purpose as well. And the bombs were handmade. And they were very, very powerful. But he said they had to know first that there was a crime, speaking of what the girl told and everything, before they could have went out and just for no reason went and checked. They would have had to get a subpoena, a search warrant, and all those things, you know. Why did they all, or you know, they could do that legally, so I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. But did the girl not come sooner enough? I don't know. Maybe they could have followed up more, in my opinion. But I think they did a good job. They did all they really could do. They didn't know this was going to happen, in my opinion. And did the girl say anything before? No. She sure didn't. Neighbors had little to say about Warner. Neighbors said he always kept to himself. Always. He was a loner. Warner was a loner. Anthony Warner was a loner. But he told people, I'm going to be more famous. I'm going to be more famous, and Nashville will never forget me. Well, I don't think he's famous, but he was correct about one thing. Nashville won't forget him, that's for sure. I don't think it's so much that they won't forget him. Yeah, they're going to forget him, but they will never forget what happened. They will never forget waking up Christmas morning 2020 and their lives being changed forever seeing this. And that again, what I said earlier, if you wasn't in here, thank you, Judy, that was the police officers' wives, husbands, that was up there in the middle of it, you know. Public records say he owned a home on Bakerstown Road. But what he did was he signed a quit deed over to his, was it his girlfriend? Okay, so he signed a quit claim deed. That's when you just turn the house over. You don't want nothing else to do with it. So he was getting ready, pre-planning, giving all of his belongings away, and so on and so on. He signed the quitclaim deed on November 25th. So that was 1 month to the day that this happened. Again, what was the motivation? It was unclear. There were hints, I guess, to people. And there were hints, I guess, in this song, this 1964 song, about downtown. Hey, Margaret, Merry Christmas. He made it happen when no one was around. Again, thank God for that. But they say Anthony's dad previously worked for AT&T. And so they didn't know if that was any kind of possible motive or not. Anthony's brother, because he didn't talk about his family. The only person that he would talk about is his brother, one of his brothers. And one of his brothers that he would talk about is the one that is deceased. I don't know how he died. All that's not important. But Anthony had another brother, and his brother said he was a conspiracy theorist. There was a girl named Crystal Decker, I don't remember. She saw the news, and they said she was tore all to pieces. They say she was shocked to learn that her dearest, bestest friend in the whole wide world had done this and was gone. Miss Decker, I'm not sure which one, said weeks earlier she found him. Weeks earlier she talked. Did she talk to him, or I think she talked to him. No, she found him with his laptop. He was on there doing stuff with his laptop. And she heard him playing that music, Petulia Clark, 1964. I guess she had walked in on that or whatever. And she said that this is the friend, just the friend, that she had what she told everybody is, and was this a motive? No, I don't think so. But she told everybody that he had a fatal cancer diagnosis. Okay. And he always was on his own and all that kind of stuff. But in my opinion, I don't know. I don't know if they ever come up and figured that out. A doctor ever came out and verified that. But it does not matter. It does not excuse it in my book. And I think he was a very selfish asshole. I want to say something else, but I won't. I mean, lay down, take a bottle of pills. Good God. Come on now. So again, he drives his booby-trapped RV downtown and purposely did this. FBI said the same thing, and FBI said that he planned this for years. He planned it for years. The lawyer said that Pam Perry, they said she was so distraught. That she had so many contacts with him. She was emotionally distraught. And that the lawyer said that he thought Mr. Warner got her at her weakest moments and put her in his life and thought he could manipulate and control her. That very well might be true. Very well. Harry told police she believed he was building these boom booms outside his house when she met him at the Waffle House a long time prior to that. But when she went to his home in Antioch, he told her nobody had visited him for 20 years. Honey, that would be a sign for me to run right there. Run, Smiley, run. What you mean nobody's visited you in 20 years? I'd be like, what's wrong with you, honey? Smiley ain't going in there. She said he grew up. I know, I'll be running fast. Are you serious? I'll be like, are you some kind of Dahmer? I mean, what in the world? But she said he grew up in Nashville and went to a Catholic school. He served 2 years in the Navy. All right, let me repeat this again for y'all, because sometimes it takes a little bit to resonate. I know. So they said he grew up in Nashville. He went to a Catholic school and he served 2 years in the Navy. He never mentioned his family except for his dead brother. His mother and his sister did not talk. They declined to talk to him. And I don't blame them, honestly. However, I can still see how his mother would be hurt, but I don't know. But they declined to talk. They were in a court battle. He was in a court battle with his own mom since 2019 because he did sign his brother's home, which was his, the quit claim deed over to that girl. So yes, they were in a court battle. His mom was not going for that. And I don't blame her. I don't know the circumstances, but then again, if it was his, he could do what he wanted to do with it. So it's hard to tell. But just to think, even going to court, for your own mom, that's just stupid. So he was trying to give away his late brother's house. He went and he camped a lot at Montgomery Bell State Park. A lot of you know where that's at. Beautiful, beautiful. And again, that song was very chilling. The words to the song is something like, if you're alone, you can always go downtown, and that he did. He went downtown and he went down in flames. Honestly, I want to show y'all a little bit of this right here. Just bear with me a minute. Y'all know me. Hold on.
Bombing in Nashville on Christmas Day, an abandoned shell 4 years on from a terrible tragedy. More than 60 buildings were extensively damaged, and one person, the bomber, was killed. They could have prevented the blast. Anthony Warner is believed to have parked his RV in downtown Nashville early on Christmas morning, detonating a powerful homemade bomb at around 6:30 a.m. Before the explosion, an eerie audio recording counting down to the blast, as well as the Petula Clark song Downtown, were heard coming from the RV. That gave police just enough time to evacuate all the nearby buildings, although the force of the blast still injured 3 people. In total, 37 buildings were damaged and 400 people displaced by the blast, which left an enormous crater at the scene. Warner's remains were discovered in the debris following the explosion. Now, 4 years on, the city is still coming to terms with the blast and its aftermath, with no clear planned timeline for what to do with the site in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. The site, including the 4-story former Old Spaghetti Factory, is still a vacant shell of a building, despite long-term plans to renovate it. Construction is expected to begin on extensive renovations of the site in the summer of 2025, with hopes everything will be completed by late 2026. Until then, the century-old historic site is still a burnt-out ruin.
It's just sad, man. I mean, it is sad still. There you go, Millie. Sorry, a little late for that. Hey, T. Kittle. Who is Donovan Scott Ross, Knoxville, Tennessee, FBI? He's about the Nashville, Tennessee. Hold on a minute. Let's burn up now. Was it you that asked me about this last night? Okay, so you're talking about, I don't know. I don't know anything about him. T. Kittle. I see something about a 19. Okay, let's see. Hold on a minute. Is it Donovan Scott Ross? Because I see a Donovan Scott, but it's not the same. I don't know. Maybe you can email it to me. Yeah, they can email it to me. Gotcha. Gotcha. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Let me turn this music off. Turn this off. Sorry about that, y'all. Don't y'all just hate that music? I do. But yeah, I just think it's really, really, really horrible. And here we are 4 years later. And can you imagine every year this has to be a trigger for them. And, just all the things. And I just really, truly hope that today, all the people that was involved, especially the officers, the people that were hurt, anybody like that, I just really hope they got to be home with their families today. And, there's no way that they're not reporting this today on the news or something. They always do stuff like this. But I really hope that they can get some of this out of their mind and their head at some point and get counseling or whatever they need. I really do. So anyway, I just hope you all, yeah, it is a tragic event. Lives were changed forever, you know. Um, like I said, people without jobs, that was the downfall of a lot of people there. Um, their livelihoods, as they knew it, jobs lost, buildings, iconic and otherwise. And you just never expect something like that to happen, but it is a tragedy. It is a tragedy. And last time I was there, I know y'all, they don't have all the roads open yet. It's just crazy. It's wild to walk past things that used to be there and go, man. But it's very tragic. But other than that, I really hope y'all had a great day. And I really appreciate you coming in here with me. And hopefully we'll move forward on to the new year. And it'll be a great one, personal and otherwise, YouTube wise and everything like that. But anyway, I hope y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining me. Have a merry, merry, merry Christmas and sweet, sweet dreams. Bye. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Lisa.